absolutely destroyed Crystal Palace 3-0 to reduce the gap at the top of the Premier League to 2 points, as the title race is now reaching boiling points. With 1 week, let's say 2 weeks remaining to the end of the season, this title race will surely go down to the wire. Arsenal with 79 points and Manchester City 77 points with 2 games remaining. Whoever fumbles first loses the title. So this is the Arsenal Pulse. Subscribe and share and like this video as we look at what happened yesterday. So first and foremost, let's look at the highlights of yesterday's game, which City absolutely destroyed and humiliated Crystal Palace. But as you all expected, Crystal Palace don't have anything to play for. They are looking at the Conference League final, which they qualified, and that is more of their mind. And you can see Semenyo was back in the goals. An assist by Phil Ford not have any much bearing on them. Then Foden with another assist to Mamush. Yeah, if they drew or if they lost this game, then Arsenal would have the chance to win the prize and a clean sheet. And now City are leading on goal difference. Yeah. So that was what happened yesterday in that game. And what really surprised me is the lineup that Pep went in. He made 6 changes to the team that beat Brentford. Of course, they have an FA Cup final on Saturday versus Chelsea. So that was in playing in Guardiola's end. Guardiola was back in the squad. Then in the midfield he played Bernardo Silva, Foden, Altinuri, and Savinho. Then up front he started with Mamush and Semenyo. So that squad is good enough to actually beat Crystal Palace, who are not really playing for anything in this game. So we all knew that this was going to be a walkover for Manchester City. And if we look at the statistics, everything they did was in favor of Man City. 73% possession, which is impressive. 15 shots, 4 shots on target, 3 big chances, 3 goals. So City absolutely dominated this game. So if we look at the standings, now this is where it all comes down to. Arsenal and Manchester City now having played 36 games each. And for me, what I wanted to say is that I wanted City to play their game in hand so that it can be points on the table. You know, most people have been saying we have been leading with 5 points, 6 points, 9 points, but the fact is Manchester City have always had a game in hand. Yeah, we have always played 1 more game than Man City. So now this is the real table. This is the actual table, yeah, that we are seeing. So meaning the gap is only 2 points. And as we all know, 2 points is very little points. Yeah, and we could have been level on points had Manchester City won at Everton. They would have been top of the league by goal difference. Yeah, because they have a goal difference of 43, while we have a goal difference of 42. And this Premier League, as we know, can be decided on by goal difference. It is not the first time, and it will not be the last time. Yeah, so this title race will go down to the wire with 2 games remaining, and Arsenal will be facing Burnley, while Manchester City will be facing Bournemouth away after the FA Cup final. So interesting times ahead. Yeah, so you can see both of us are remaining with 3 games. Arsenal play Burnley at home, Crystal Palace away, and then the Champions League final versus PSG, while City will be facing Chelsea, FA Cup final, then Bournemouth away, and then Aston Villa at home. So there are no easy games that are left. Let nobody lie to you that this is going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. Having a team chasing you like this, Manchester City, Pep Guardiola, with all the experience that they have, yeah, it is going to actually take a toll on the Arsenal players. But the Arsenal players have this cup in their hands, and that is one thing that I wanted. The fact is, Arsenal have to win their remaining games. Whatever City does, even if they score 7 goals, even if they score 8 goals, nothing will change the outcome of the league will go, because Arsenal would have done their job as they should, and that means that Arsenal will be champions of England at Crystal Palace. If they beat Crystal Palace, they win the Premier League at Crystal Palace. That now we are assuming that Arsenal beat Burnley and Man City beat Bournemouth. But there are very many scenarios. Arsenal, if Arsenal lose to Burnley and Man City beat Bournemouth, Manchester City go into the final weekend top of the league, and they have a chance to win it versus Aston Villa. If Arsenal beat Burnley and Man City lose at Bournemouth, Arsenal are declared champions without having to play the last game of the season. If both teams draw, it goes to the final day because the points will remain 2. Yeah. So Arsenal will still need to win versus Crystal Palace. Yeah. So there are many very scenarios that are going to happen. So you can see this one is match week 37 to kick off with Aston Villa versus Liverpool in a top 4 race. Man United versus Forest, plenty of games on Sunday, and then Monday, Arsenal versus Burnley. Tuesday, it is Bournemouth versus Man City, and then Chelsea versus Spurs, what could decide the relegation battle. So very interesting scenes that are coming out. Final few weeks are going to be very interesting, and of course we are going to see a lot of drama as expected. So this win, what does it mean? It means that Manchester City are still not out of it. They are still fighting for their lives, because if they drew or lost versus Crystal Palace, Arsenal will have wrapped up this league versus Burnley, requiring only to win, because if they win now automatically it will be over. So Pep Guardiola is still alive. He will take it to the final day, and I'm sure he wants Arsenal to win it the hard way. And this is also reminds me in 23-24 when we chased down Man City and they managed to win by 2 points at the end of it. So Guardiola still has belief that his side is in the title race, and they have a chance also to win the domestic treble, which nobody has foreseen. So if they beat Chelsea, they win the domestic double, FA Cup and Carabao Cup. Then Premier League is yet to be seen. Arsenal have the chance to win the double, the Premier League for the first time in 22 years, and the Champions League for the first time in the history. Yeah, so fixtures for Man City are quite hard. Bournemouth and Aston Villa. Yeah, those are going to be tough games. But as well, Arsenal facing Burnley, who have nothing to play for. They will be playing for pride. They will just want to cause an upset. So these few remaining games, 2 games, whoever will blink first, as I said in the thumbnail, is going to take the knock. So that is what is going to happen. The psychological blow will be heavy, yeah, for the team that will drop points. And in other Arsenal news, Arteta is hopeful that Timber will be back before the Champions League final versus Paris Saint-Germain, and that is a huge boost because Ben White is now out for the season. Yeah, we lost Ben White in the game versus West Ham, meaning that now we are sweating the fitness of Julian Timber, who I believe is back on grass and is now looking to come back. But now I believe Mosquera will be playing at right back. Arteta will have to find other options as well. And in other news, Calafiori as well. It seems that Calafiori's injury is not as bad as it was first suspected, meaning that Calafiori will also be part of the remaining 2 games versus Burnley and Crystal Palace, and hopefully we should have a fully fit squad before the Champions League final, apart from Ben White, who will be out until maybe the World Cup. So Ben White is the only player who is going to be missing if we manage to win trophies. So these are interesting few weeks coming up, and I believe that we need to now wrap up the Premier League. 2 more games to end the trophy drought. It's not going to be easy. We need all the fans on board. We need all the players to lock in. Now these are the 2 most important games of the season. All that we've done in the past does not matter. Nobody will remember we were top in May, match week 36. The only thing that will be remembered is that we were top in May, match week 38, May 24th. And hopefully we shall be lifting that Premier League trophy at Selhurst Park, Everett's Eze's former home ground. Yeah. So this is the Arsenal Pulse. If you are new, like, share, subscribe. I'll be doing a preview for the Burnley game tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be playing on Monday, which is awkward, but I believe we should have more than enough to beat Burnley and Crystal Palace, especially the way Crystal Palace played yesterday. Their mind is fully locked in the Conference League. So, see you in the next video. Shout out to all the Gunners around the world. Believe we can do this, and I believe that this season we shall make history. If we manage to beat Pep Guardiola's Man City to a Premier League title and Luis Enrique's PSG, champions of Europe, best team in the world, this will be a historic season, and it may be even talked about as one of the best Arsenal teams ever. Yeah, so these players know the assignment. I believe they know it. It's just a matter of delivering and executing. So let's see how it goes last few weeks of the Premier League. See you in the next one. Peace out.